Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of A Curious Couple, a podcast that is dedicated to asking questions to foster a healthy sense of curiosity. Because in questioning what we think we know, we learn more. I'm Aaron.
I'm Angie.
And we're really excited to be doing this today. This is episode 22.
22.
Dos.
Dos. That's not how you say it in Spanish, but that's fine. That's fine. You're so cute.
Oh, thanks. Little victories.
It's the little things.
It's the little things. Oh, man. But I'm really excited to dive into today's episode. We are going to be talking about what again, Ange?
The importance of sleep and why you might not be sleeping.
Yeah, it's been a struggle in this house recently.
Yeah.
For me.
Insomnia is something we deal, but on different levels.
That's true.
Because I have really vivid, scary dreams that keep me awake. And then
I just can't fall asleep.
You just can't fall asleep.
I can fall asleep in the middle of the day.
See, and I can't do that.
That is no problem for me. Yeah. But anyways, we're jumping ahead because we need to review.
Because we always do that.
You'd think we'd learn. We need to review last week's challenge.
Yes.
So last week we challenged our listeners to make a simple promise to themselves. And it can be as simple as, like we mentioned, drinking a glass of water in the morning first thing. Yep. Because in making and keeping these simple promises, what you're doing is you're relearning how to trust yourself. You're building up some, trustworthiness in yourself. Exactly. So this week, my promise to myself was to journal more, specifically before bed. And I'm happy that I did that. I missed 2 nights because insomnia, but I did journal 5 of the last 7, and I like journaling before bed. It is a really good way to help me get my thoughts out of my brain and onto a page.
Brain dump.
Yeah, the last few nights I've been doing some spiritual teachings, and just kind of journaling about that and writing about what I'm learning. So it's been helpful.
Remind me the teacher that you've been listening to?
So his name is Gene Hart, but it's a Gnostic training. So It's all about gnosis. We could talk about that for literal days if you are interested. But I have been told what I speak on goes above people's heads. So I will dial it back a few degrees. But Gnosticism, you should look into it.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. But let's dive into what we're actually talking about today.
Yes, we're going to talk about sleep. And it's such a basic, silly thing because it's part of our human psyche. It's part of our physicality. We need sleep. Our bodies need sleep. First off, our brain. Let's talk about the brain for a second.
Yeah, I love the brain.
Right?
Your brain is so sexy.
Brain is so sexy.
Most erotic organ in the body.
Respectfully.
Literally. Anyways.
No, so the brain's function, specifically what happens to your brain while you're asleep. While our body is resting, our brain, it's kind of, I don't know, I think of it as just like a download of the day. Your brain just physically downloads all the memories, all the things that you've done throughout the day, all the things you've learned, and just kind of files it away.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It makes me also think of like Inside Out with all the different rows of memory that they have.
Yeah, and it like transitions during the day. It's when your short term becomes long term.
Right.
I learned this from 50 First Dates as a teenager.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that movie. Aww.
That was a great film.
That was a great.
Yeah, I loved that one.
I wonder if it aged well.
You know, I haven't watched it in probably 2 decades.
I feel like most Adam Sandlers did not age well.
You know, maybe that should be an episode. How well did the Adam Sandler genre age?
Let's get back. Another thing about the brain while your body is sleeping. I mean, it's so silly because you always get told, like, if you're going to have a big test, make sure you sleep before.
Yeah.
Anything, like you have a big day tomorrow, big race, anything physical, you want a good night's rest, right?
Absolutely.
So with the brain, it literally impacts your attention span, your problem solving, decision making. In general, sleep equals good for your brain.
Yeah, I've been curious about this because of my sleeping problems as of late, but I read something that, like, if you're driving drunk if you're over 0.08 alcohol. If you go 18 hours without sleep, you're basically at a 0.05. So if you stay up all night, like I have, I only missed one night of sleep this last week, but you are beyond legal driving impairment at that point. It can affect you that much.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the problem with my sleep habits, though, is when I'm sleeping before a test or a big event, the pressure of that makes it even harder for me to get the sleep. It's like, I got to sleep. I'm only going to get 6 hours if I fall asleep right now.
Well, I hate that.
Now.
I hate that pressure of sleep where you're trying so hard to sleep. It's like, I need to sleep. I need to sleep. I need to sleep. And that's what keeps you awake.
See, and that's why I think I can fall asleep so easy in the middle of the day is there's no pressure to it. It's just like, I can wipe my mind, and it's like, in fact, when I lay down in the middle of the day, I'm actively telling myself, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep.
Because that works.
It does.
Ange, I'm only going to lay down for 5 minutes. It's only going to be 5 minutes.
2 hours later, I come crawling out of the room. Oh, man. Anyways, how else does sleep help us, Ange?
Immune system. Our bodies need to rest. Our bodies need time to regenerate and to heal itself. Our bodies are kind of freaking incredible that way.
Yeah.
Sleep has a lot of those things. If you want to get better, just take a nap. If you're angry, go take a nap. Any of those things, it's just a literal reset. And adequate sleep helps you recover faster.
Yeah.
That's just science. I have so many good words today. Fiato. No, I had like a brain fart in the middle of that thought because I was thinking about our kids, where it's kids grow in their sleep. I mean, all humans grow in their sleep, but specifically with kids, they get the growing pains at night because they grow so fast in their sleep. So I wonder, I should look this up scientifically. If you don't sleep as much, would that affect your growth?
Probably.
Right?
It affects everything else.
It does.
Yeah.
So wild. Going on to our next point, overall vitality, energy levels, longevity, all of these things directly correlate with how much sleep you get.
Yeah.
Which is so nuts. Why? Okay, I don't know, Sky Daddy, Universe, Gaia, Hades, whoever is the one that put us on this earth. Why would you
It
just...
was us.
It
Spoiler
was us. Why would you create beings where half of our life has to be spent asleep?
Oh, man. Do you want to get into that? That's an Aaron topic. That's going to go above half of our listeners' heads. And you're going to be telling me next week, so the feedback I got. I love it, but Aaron is hard to understand.
I love it, but Aaron is...
Our consciousness leaves our physical form. That's what astral projection is. If you've heard people talk about the Akashic records.
Yeah.
It's literally, yeah. And really what that habit is, like lucid dreaming, astral projection, what it is extending your consciousness into the sleeping realms. So those things are already happening. It's just happening unconsciously.
Okay, so when you activate that, you're choosing to experience that. It's already happening.
Yeah, it's already happening. That's why your dreams are so flighty and all over the place. Like, the things you dream about are just reflections of subconscious issues. Like, I've been tracking my dreams and keeping a dream journal lately, and there has been a lot of authoritarian figures appearing in my dreams for some reason. And weird. I'm always getting in trouble and being told not to do things. And there's a lot of showers. I'm constantly showering in my dreams.
You're constantly showering in real life.
Only like twice a day. I'm like... That's a habit I picked up from the mission, though, because I went on my mission in the Philippines, and it was so dang humid.
Well, you used to do that when we lived in Florida. You'd wake up and you shower. You would come home from work and you'd shower.
Yes.
And then you'd shower...
Before bed. Yes.
At least.
It is so refreshing. People should shower more. It's probably so unhealthy for your skin and
maybe,
hair and stuff.
Do we need to do a podcast episode on that?
That'd
How
be fun.
often we should shower?
That'd be fun. That'd be way fun.
Because I know that way back in the day, the less you showered, it used to be like a sexy thing, like an aroma appeal.
Ew.
Yeah, it was oof.
I mean, I get it. Because, like, after my mushroom journeys, I'm like, I smell yummy.
Okay. But which king was it? I don't remember which king. There was a king in France who he would go off on his quests or his battles or whatever, and he would write to his lover and basically say, I'm on my way home. Do not bathe until I get back. And it's like, okay, you know how long?
That was a kink.
It is like, that's gotta be a kink, right? That can't just be a normal.
Oh, man. Yeah. Anyways, let's dial it back onto the topic. Some other benefits of health, like health benefits of sleep are...
Can we say kink on this podcast? I am so sorry.
Kink's not a dirty word. We could talk about kinks. We should do a whole episode on kinks.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to uncover there.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Like I was reading something today, total left field now.
Let's go.
I was reading something today that like most conservative Christians, their biggest kink is cuckolding.
Ooh.
Because it's the opposite of what like their deepest value. But like most women have a kink of like assault.
Ew.
Yeah, like R-word kinks. Because it's such a fear. Kinks allow you to explore that fear in a safe environment. And so it's a way to like relieve yourself of the fear of that, if that makes any sense.
What?
Yeah, that's why most liberals their kink is bondage, because they value freedom and expression, but their kinks are all about being like tied up and dominated. Yeah, it's anyways, we could do a whole episode on that. Anyways, back to sleep. There's metabolic health benefits as well. Including appetite and weight management. If you're not sleeping well, you're going to gain weight. Your metabolism is going to be out of whack. You're messing with your circadian rhythm. Yeah, you're literally going counterintuitive of the natural cycles of day and night. We're meant to be sleeping at night. In fact, we're actually not supposed to be sleeping 8 hours. Historically, humans have slept in 2 sleeps.
Oh.
Yeah, so they would sleep for maybe 3 to 4 hours and then wake up around 3 in the morning and be up for maybe an hour or 2 and then sleep for another couple hours. It was broken up. The whole concept of the 8-hour sleep block is relatively modern. And a lot of the people that I'm listening to say that it's excessive, that 8 hours is excessive, that you truly only need 5 to 6. But that's only if you're eating the proper foods.
And we're all being poisoned. So.
We're literally all being poisoned every day, intentionally by our government and corporations that rule us. Hey, overlords. Anyways,
this America. Why am I dancing?
So sleep helps with weight management and your metabolism, and then it also helps with your heart, like heart health. So when you go into REM sleep and you drop into these lower states of sleep, your brain goes into a synchronization state where your right and left hemisphere, the frequency match. Your left hemisphere slows down, your right hemisphere picks up with the dreaming, with the REM. And when your body is in this synchronized state, your heart rate decreases in both intensity and frequency.
Okay.
And when it does this, oh man, we're going to get deep into this a little bit. When your heart rate goes down, when your heart pumps and it pushes blood down your main ventricle that goes down to your legs.
Yeah.
When it reaches the bottom of your spine, it splits because blood has to go down your right leg and down your left leg.
Right.
And when it reaches that split, it hits a wall. Right? And then it splits. And so when it hits the bottom of that ventricle, of that vein, there's a sound wave that bounces back up.
What?
And so when you get into these deep states of meditation and sleep, that reverberated sound wave is dampened, is lessened. And the benefit of this is when there's a sound wave going up and your heart beats another beat going down, there's an interference pattern that happens. We're getting deep. I found all this out by following or learning about the Gateway experience, the CIA's Gateway experience. We could do an episode on that. I love that stuff. But anyways, needless to say, your heart rate, your whole body goes more into a sympathetic vibrational state, which facilitates that rest, the recovery, the memory, all the benefits of sleep. So yeah, it reduces blood pressure, all of that. So
no, and that makes total sense. Our next point we want to talk about was
sweeping.
Sleeping. Sleepy. Guys, I'm sleepy. The next section we wanted to get into is like sleep quality and life satisfaction.
Yeah.
It's, again, how many people are just super grumpy in the day because they haven't gotten enough sleep?
Oh, it is, for me, the easiest excuse to be grumpy. Like, I'm tired, I'm grumpy, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this. Being tired is kryptonite for me.
No, it's true. The thing is, though, the sleep quality you get does affect your mood. Absolutely, it does.
100%.
Because I think of our toddlers, we wake them up too early. They're just monsters the whole day.
Or even wake them up from a nap.
Yeah,
That's
wake
the
them
hardest.
up. Oh my gosh, you wake them up from a nap at the wrong time.
It's like pulling the pin in a grenade.
Exactly. So I don't know if it's necessarily a taught trait, but I really think that sleep does affect your mood. And then, I don't know, whenever you go take a nap, whenever you rest, overall, you're probably going to be in a better mood because you've been able to reset. And I think that's super important. When it comes to sleep and happiness,
Yeah.
I think of those memes of people who are like, I'm in my happy place, and they're just like snuggled up in their bed.
Oh, yes.
It is. It's very true that sleep is a happy place for so many, because not only is it 100% you time, it's just a place where you get to rest and relax and just let everything else that's happened to you melt away. It brings that emotional balance, that emotional regulation that your brain desperately needs. It needs that download. It needs to reset.
Yeah, it's like a calming thing. Because I know you've mentioned one of the biggest bits of advice that we would get when we first got married is never go to sleep angry.
Yeah.
Never go to sleep angry. And that's hogwash.
That's silly.
Yeah.
It's silly. And, you know, I'm sure it works for some couples, but what would be the point of us yelling 3 hours and being upset with each other when we can just rest, clear our brains, and be like, hey, I'm sorry. A, B, and C.
Yeah. I feel like after a sleep, you can really just see things more clearly. You can be a lot more objective. You've put in some space between you and the incident. You're able to, analyze it from a different perspective. I think there's benefits to it. If you're one of those couples that can't go to sleep angry, it is hard to go to sleep when you're like all flustered, but don't feel like you have to hash it out before you go to bed.
Right. Right. That's, I think, the better advice, the flip side of that coin, is always fight naked.
Yummy.
Because you guys aren't going to be that mad at each other.
You didn't do the dishes. All right, take it off. No, that's true. But going with the quality of sleep, and really something that you brought up earlier is a lot of people dream about what they did throughout the day. Now, I'm going to put on my, this may be too much for people hat, but that doesn't have to be your experience. We actually have a lot more control over our dreams. And if you do want to expand your consciousness into those dreaming states, one way to do it is to quit daydreaming.
Ooh.
Actually.
Really?
So what you find is most people don't just dream when they're asleep. Most people are dreaming all throughout the day. They're working on some project, or they're at work and they're dreaming about being home to turn on that TV program or turn on that video game or indulge in whatever escapism they're inclined towards. Or, they're out with somebody that they don't want to be and they're dreaming about some vacation that's a couple weeks away. Most people are dreaming throughout the day. And so if you want to start controlling and being more lucid in your dreams, then you need to really learn and practice being present constantly throughout the day.
Quick question.
Yes.
Lucid. Can you describe what that is? For me, it feels like it's free flowing. It's almost like water. It just kind of can go wherever it needs to.
Yeah. So lucid dreaming is a state of consciousness in a dream where you realize that you are in a dream state while still in the dream.
Okay.
And so if you're able to realize this, then you can change the dream however you want because you have complete control in your dream state.
Like
Inception. Flying. Yeah, like Inception. Like you can fly, you can create things out of thin air, you can explore dreams that you're having on a deeper level. I had a dream a few weeks ago where I was encountered by these 3 older men. And I was not lucid dreaming because that is a skill that I'm still working on. but they said things to me and I didn't understand it. And I was like, that's nice. Kind of the way you do with senile people. Like, yeah, great to see you too. Bye. Like that was my energy towards it.
Okay.
And when I woke up, I was like, that was foolish. 3 old men appeared to me in a dream. Like symbolism of 3 old men is wisdom and guidance and, higher knowledge. Yeah. And I dismissed it just instantly, like, nice. I don't know what's going on. I need to go back to sweeping because I was literally like in the middle of sweeping a floor.
Oh, that's right. I remember this dream.
Anyways, when you're lucid dreaming, you can even go back and question those men. If you don't understand something, you can go and say, wait, say that to me again. Explain it to me in a different way. Another thing with lucid dreamings is when we're in a dream, random things happen. Like total bonkers crazy things.
Yeah.
Like you could be talking to a shark and riding a giraffe, but it's all logical and it's all like within the realm of the dream. You're like, this makes sense. And so when you're lucid dreaming, you wake up to the absurdity of it and then you can manipulate it yourself. One of the tactics to start learning lucid dreaming is what they call reality checks.
Yeah.
And we can get into that, but maybe not. That might go beyond. Anyways, another really good practice to have better sleep quality is to download this daily information, this lived experience information before you go to sleep.
Like a journal.
Yeah, like a journal or meditation. Or another practice is to go through your day, but in reverse with as much detail as you can. How many times can you remember every instant of the day? I remember most steps of what I did today, but one of these practices, like, okay, I'm sitting down and recording a podcast. Immediately before that, I was setting up the computer and the recording equipment for the podcast. Immediately before that, I was emailing the outline to Angie so that we would both have a copy of the outline in front of us. And you just work backwards through the day.
You forgot your tea.
See, I forgot making my tea already. So that's a practice that you can do to get better at that.
Ooh.
Other things that you can do to prepare for sleep and have a better quality of sleep is stretching, yoga. Yoga is a form of meditation. It's not just body contortions or, as some crazies call it, devil practice. No, that is a fear tactic. Yoga is very profound.
Absolutely.
So yeah, those are all very powerful things that you can implement to really improve your sleep quality. Says the insomniac.
Says the insomniac. Half the reason we're doing this episode is like we need to sleep.
We're practicing it. We're getting better.
We are getting better. Oh, did you want to talk about chakra alignment?
That's right. And then the chakras themselves. We can get into all that. The chakras are very real. Just to recap, chakras are energy centers in our bodies. There's many of them, but traditionally there are 7 that are the focal point. And working with these chakras is a fundamental piece of yoga, meditation, spiritual enlightenment, all the things. And what you'll find is as you work on them, your quality of sleep will change and it will improve. And yoga can help with that.
Yoga can help with everything, I would argue. But we're going to dive in a little bit deeper on each of the chakras here. So if you're familiar with chakras, if you've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you listen to our chakra episode,
which is so surface level.
It's very surface level. It
when
just
we
teaches
recorded
you the
that,
basics.
we knew a sliver of what we know now about the chakras.
We're continuing to learn. We'll do another chakra episode.
We need a chakra roundup.
Yes.
Because that was child's play.
It was just...
It truly
basic.
Was. It was so basic.
But that's okay. I still enjoy it, and it's a good level 1 chakra explanation.
Yeah, for those, because we know a lot of people in our conservative Christian circles that you bring
What's
up...
chakra?
Exactly. And so it feels good that we started with it being very basic, but the level and the truth in these energy centers is... It is mind-boggling. It will blow your brain open.
It is. Chakras are energy centers in our body that correspond to specific nerve bundles and organ areas.
Yeah.
And they influence the overall being of both our physical and spiritual. We have 7 of them, and they start at the base of the spine and up to the crown of the head.
Yes.
So when the chakras are open and balanced, energy is able to flow throughout your whole entire body and through your whole psychological system, right?
Yeah, it's a little more complicated than that. But
It is.
In essence, chakra is a Sanskrit word, and it means wheel. And so these are spinning wheels of energy. Now, when Angie says opened, what she means is that they are spinning in harmony, right? We have all these chakras. They're all present. Even if they're unaligned and blocked, they are within you. And when you get them to move in the right direction and open them up, then it allows the energy to flow freely through and up your spinal column, is the essence of it. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you talk about the third eye and root chakras?
Yeah, so those two are, the root chakra is our base. It's the Muladhara. It is our sense of security, of safety, and sleep, you really need to feel safe and secure. It is a vulnerable thing to put yourself in. And I think that's where the fear of sleep comes when we're children, with nightmares and monsters in the closet, is that security is not there. And so they're not able to sleep at all. For me, my insomnia really kicks in when I'm struggling in those areas, like with financial struggles, with housing struggles, with anything that has to do with safety and security is really going to flare up that root. And so if that's and that's the base chakras, it's the first one that you need to work on ever because they build. But with that root being in alignment, you'll be able to feel more safe, more secure. And so sleep will become more natural and easier for you to experience. You're not going to be in an anxious state trying to fall asleep. You're not going to be, okay, what do I need to do tomorrow? Tomorrow's the day. Everything's going to fall apart if I don't. That's not going to be the energy. The third eye is really activated more so when we're in our dreaming state. You're going to be receiving visions from that third eye center. The third eye is located in the middle of your forehead. Some people say it's the pineal, some say it's the pituitary, but whatever, that's where it is. And it's our ability to envision and visualize and imagine things. And so when you're dreaming, that is an active center. So yeah, working on those two, they're integral in our sleep.
Exactly. Well, and we talked a little bit about yoga and meditation earlier, but I bet you're already equipping a lot of these different tools in your little I need to sleep tool bag, where it's different practices that you can do to help you get to sleep, whether it is a meditation or stretching your body or aromatherapy. It's actually really popular right now.
Is it really?
It's super popular.
I didn't know that.
They're called pillow sprays, where they're just basically these very specific scents that are made for you to be able to sleep on your pillow and it won't affect your skin, and they're lovely.
Nice.
They're lovely. So it's recommended to be able to balance your chakras, your inner self, so that you can sleep better, so that you can be better in your physical body when you awaken. It all is connected.
Everything's connected.
Everything's connected.
The more you look, the more you realize we're all just one. And then you look beyond that and you realize we're all nothing. And I digress. Anyways. Yeah. And a lot of people that I've spoken to really struggle with meditation.
Yeah.
So guided meditations are really powerful. Listening to a guided meditation, especially at a beginning stage, there's no shame in it. If you talk to like somebody that's been doing this for years, like, whatever, you use the tools that work for you and you build. So a guided meditation is really powerful. Music, calming music. If you really want to get into it, you can listen to different frequency type music.
Yeah.
That will help solidify and help work with these chakras.
I listened to Harry Potter on Audible.
And she has passed that on to our children. It literally plays all night, every night. See, and I'm different. I cannot fall asleep if there's a story on.
Yeah.
I get so tied up with the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are just so familiar to me that it's just like, it's like a warm hug.
Yay. Oh man. Other things though is like avoiding screens before bedtime. Like so many of us, and I'm guilty of it. You fall asleep, you're laying in bed and you're scrolling and you're watching the things.
We've got our 7 screens.
I mean, I'm not scrolling. I'm making content right now. So it's a different energy, but or like falling asleep with the TV on.
Yeah.
You're not gone while you're sleeping. Just because you're unconscious, it doesn't mean things are coming in.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was really depressed, really low, and I had been learning about the power of the subconscious and how to reprogram the subconscious. I recorded myself reading these very positive affirmations, like with such energy behind it. Like, you are amazing. Like, you've got this. Anything you put your mind to, you can make happen. Anyways.
You do.
So I recorded myself saying a bunch of these affirmations, and then I superimposed it over a sleep meditation music. And I would fall asleep listening to the sleep meditation. And then when my idea and thought was when I was in deep sleep, my own voice would come into my ears telling me how great I was in the hopes to like reprogram my subconscious. So
I love that,
you can do those types of things. But yeah, chakra alignment is really powerful, and you can actually use your dreams to find out where you are out of alignment. In fact, that is a big part of what recording your dreams is all about. So for example, I mentioned that I've been dreaming a lot about authoritarian figures and showering. And so I'm keeping this journal, this log of what my dreams encompass, because my subconscious knows what's holding me back. My subconscious knows. And we have been conditioned and raised to think that we don't know what's going on. Like, why is this happening to me? Why is it so hard? Why am I hurting? Yeah, it sucks. Going through it, been there. But our subconscious is aware, because our subconscious is more deeply connected to the collective than our individualistic sense of self or our individualistic sense of ego. And so if you can pay attention to your dreams and listen to the messages from those dreams, it can really give you tools onto where it is that you're experiencing blocks. For a long time, I thought I had a sacral block. No, it's a root block.
Hey-o.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, so let's break it down. What are some signs that a particular chakra might be imbalanced during your sleep?
Yeah, that's a great question. Do you want to start us off?
Yes. So let's start with the bottom. Let's start with the root chakra.
You always start with the root chakra.
Always. Muladhara.
Yes. Yes.
The Muladhara, friends. Okay. So issues with the root chakra may lead to feelings of insecurity or restlessness during sleep, resulting with insomnia, frequent waking. Like Erin was saying earlier, usually when you're having survival issues is when you're going to be having this kind of often awakening. And that's what the root chakra is all about. It is about your instinctual survival,
safety and security.
I used to do that a lot, especially when my babies were very, very little. I would just wake up in the middle of the night and be like, okay, is everybody okay? Is everyone awake? Everybody's sleeping? Are the babies breathing?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
That's awesome. I mean, it's cool to point that out, because your safety and survival, it extends beyond you, especially when you become a parent or you are caretaking, when you are responsible for the well-being of others.
Yes, I did that for Penny too when we first got, when she was a little puppy. Go over to the cage. She's still okay. Okay, we're good.
Oh, she's your familiar through
she
and
is.
through.
I love her. So yes, if you are struggling with insomnia and constant waking up throughout the night because you have anxiety over your day-to-day stuff, it might be a root block that you can
100%.
look into.
Yeah. Look there.
Look there. Always start at the root.
Always.
After the root, we have our sacral, which is I'm probably going to say this wrong, Svadhisthana?
Yeah, you got it. That was, the Svadhisthana.
Svadhisthana. I can't.
The Svadhisthana.
Sva.
Di.
D.
Stana.
Stana.
Yeah.
Usnavi.
Yeah, when we redo the chakra episode, we will tell you what the translation of these are all Sanskrit words for the chakras, but they have deeper meaning. So we'll do that in a chakra episode.
Sacral, Savisthana. So I said it wrong again.
You're overthinking it. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm sure one of those will be good for recording,
the
right?
first one was perfect.
I don't want an E on our episode. Okay. An imbalanced sacral chakra might lead to emotional instability or vivid dreams that can disrupt your sleep and lead to unease when you're waking. So those really vivid dreams, like when you feel like you're falling off a cliff or like you're falling out of the bed or anything like that, those dreams that feel so real.
Yeah, the sacral, the Svadhisthana, it is where our creativity is held.
Yes.
It is also where our creative energy in all senses of that word is held. It's a water element where the root chakra is an earth element. So if you have a blocked Svadhisthana, blocked sacral, you're going to experience, maybe even have visions in the dream of being incompetent or not being enough, or it's blocked by shame.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We're going to move up to solar plexus, Manipura.
Yeah.
And if this chakra is blocked, you might experience powerlessness or lack of control, feeling up like you haven't slept at all, just this sense of letdown, I guess.
Yeah, the Manipura is really cool because it's our willpower. It is It is the I will center. And so it's where you get that I can do this, I'm capable, I have it within me. And so your dreams will manifest as powerless, incapable, maybe caged, those types of things where you are held back. The Manipura is really cool because it is the highest of the lower three.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll dial it back. But anyways, next up we have the heart chakra, which is the anahata. Now, an imbalanced heart chakra, it can result in feelings of disconnection from others. So isolation, difficulty in finding comfort or relaxation. If you are really struggling to find a comfortable position while sleeping and it's keeping you up, that can be an unaligned heart chakra. The heart is blocked by grief. Grief is the inability to comprehend, very simplistically. I know there's lots written about grief, but in a nutshell, grief is the inability to see both extremes of a situation.
Yeah.
The inability to accept the pain and the joy. As calloused as that may sound, there's a sense of relief. Like if you lost somebody who has been battling a terminal illness, there is deep sadness, but there's also this piece of they are at rest, now I'm at rest. And if you are unable to accept both of those realities, you're going to be creating grief. So blocking the heart chakra if you're not able to get comfortable. The throat chakra, the Vishuddha, the first teacher that I listened to, she said the Vishuddha is her favorite because everyone thinks that their throat chakra is fine and no one's throat chakra is fine.
No.
Everyone's like, I don't have a block in my throat chakra. I can talk whenever I want to. And it's like, yeah, that's the symptom of a blocked throat chakra.
You can't shut up.
You can't be quiet. You over-explain. You over-exaggerate.
Not us. The podcast.
Okay, but we're also Geminis.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my fortune is in the third house. So it's like, this is I need to be doing this, guys. Anyways.
Thanks for being here.
A blocked throat chakra can manifest in dreams as a couple different things. You could be like Ariel. You can lose your voice in a dream state where you're unable to speak or you're unable to be understood. Or you were talking to me about a recurring nightmare that you had.
Dude. Okay. Story time. We have been rewatching all the Lord of the Rings films with our kids.
The extended, because there's no other option.
There is no other way.
But they've been in sittings. Our children are 6 and 3.
Are 6 and 3, so it's in setting and like split up. And growing up, I was absolutely terrified. Like terrified of Gollum and Smeagol.
And she says growing up as if she was like when
No,
she
no,
was
no, no.
6.
It was like from the time that
we
the
were
films-
engaged and she was still terrified of
Yeah.
Smeagol.
Yeah. Dude, it was one of those things. And like rewatching it as an adult, it's not like after we got engaged, after we got married, I was able to start rewatching these films. But I was also, growing into my adulthood at that time.
Child bride.
Child bride.
So lovely.
I am lovely. Come on. No, but so Aaron asked me tonight, what was so terrifying? You watched him. He's silly. He's goofy. Like, yeah, he's creepy. He's weird.
Yeah.
But he's not like this traumatizing thing. And then I remembered from like the time I was maybe 8 until my early 20s, when I would have nightmares of him, and he would be like choking me, and I would just see his face and his voice, and it was a very strangling anytime he would come into my dreams. And so that was very, like, even now I'm like, oh, I feel it. It's scary. And he was kind of the voice of my nightmares. Thanks, Andy Serkis. You're amazing. He is amazing. But oh my gosh, I'd love to meet Andy Serkis.
That would be epic.
That I'm manifesting right now. Andy Serkis, I'm going to meet you, and it's going to make me cry and be scared, but then also just so honored.
Can't wait for that.
Wow. But reflecting that tonight, it was because of a major throat block that I've had for most of my life. I am still working on that, especially when it comes to communicating anything in my life. It's very difficult, which is why this is very vulnerable for me to be very open and honest about this kind of stuff. But yeah, just rereading that is a very valid and reoccurring nightmare I would have.
Yeah. And those types of nightmares, it's telling you that you don't have a voice, and you can kid yourself and play all the games in your head, in your waking mind. But when you go to sleep and your subconscious takes over, it's like, hey, you don't have a voice in this setting, in this situation. And yeah, pay attention to those dreams, especially the nightmares.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for sharing.
Sorry.
Anyways, let's move on up. After that, we have the third eye. The third eye is the Anya. People are going to dispute how you say that, but to me it is the Anya. Nope, it is the Anya. So Anya. An imbalanced third eye is going to lead to extensive nightmares, trouble recalling dreams as well. So I have struggled remembering my dreams for the majority of my life. It has been very difficult for me to recall my dreams. And even now, as I'm trying to get into this practice, like, it takes considerable effort for me to remember and log my dreams. People say, yeah, you got to wake up and instantly start recording it. Sometimes I wake up and there's nothing there. Like, it doesn't even register. I have a history of remembering my dreams if I've been awoken in the night. Woken up.
I'm sorry, I don't know why that was funny to me.
Those would be the dreams that I remember. If somebody woke me up at 3 or 4 in the morning, then I would remember my dream when I woke up in the actual morning. But yeah, so an imbalanced third eye. The third eye is blocked by illusion, lies. But illusion. And then the crown chakra. So the crown chakra is our connection to higher self, higher knowledge, the collective, God, whatever you want to say, the universe.
Sky Daddy.
Yeah. So a disruption in the crown chakra is going to result in a sense of spiritual disconnection or a lack of inspiration. You're going to feel very isolated, separated from those cosmic energies in your dreams. But anyways, it can really affect the quality of your sleep and the quality of the dreams as well. So these are the symptoms that are going to point you towards where you're struggling with some blocks. If you haven't done any work on any of the chakras, it could be all 7, and that is fine because mine were all 7.
Mine are still, I think we got to reassess the chakras
100%.
fairly often.
Oh, yeah. It's not really something that you can just do once and be done with. It is a continual practice. And
Ang makes it look so easy.
well, and what you find is as you revisit them, you can actually discover different layers, different depths of blocks. So for the longest time, my biggest block I thought was in my sacral because I have a very complicated sexual history and a lot of shame associated with that. And so for a long time, it was months, I was like punching myself in the gut, basically, like, fix, like, get better. And I'm just like, sacral, 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 sacral. And it came to a point where I was just so tired. I'm like, I need to look at the other chakras. Like, I don't know how to clear this up.
Yeah.
And so as I moved up them, later on, I was evaluating my throat. The throat is blocked by jealousy and a superiority complex. And a blocked throat chakra is like bad breath. Everyone knows that you have it. Everyone knows that you're jealous, but they're not going to tell you. Like, no one's going to tell you that you have bad breath. They're just like, ugh. Whenever you start speaking out of a place of jealousy, it stinks. Everyone knows.
Everyone.
But they're not going to say a thing. So I was assessing my jealousies, and yeah, when I assessed those jealousies, I was like, holy crap, I do have a jealousy problem, but it's fueled by my shame. Anyway, there's layers.
They're all connected?
What? What? So what can we do before we actually lay down into bed to start working on these?
Yeah, let's get that pre-sleep balance routine going.
Yeah.
So one way to restore the balance for your chakras, obviously there's several things that you can do, and you've just got to do what's going to work best for you. Because at the end of the day, what works for me, listening to Harry Potter works for me, it's not going to work for you.
It does not work for me.
It does not. It's okay to be wrong. But
oh no. What else? Let's move past the Pottermore. Jim Dale.
I love Jim Dale. He is a national treasure.
He's not from here.
National treasure.
I don't think he would claim the United States at this point. People are actively leaving this dumpster fire of raccoon feces.
Great. Happy 4th, everybody.
Led by dementia and narcissism, make your choice.
I'm in danger.
Lordy.
Lord. Let's go back to why we can't sleep if it's not one of those things. Yoga. I will preach this forever and ever and ever. Yoga is so good for you because it is, for me, I'm one of those people who quote unquote struggle with meditation. And so I use guided meditation a lot. But yoga is something that I can do, and I can just listen to what my body needs, and there's a flow to it, and it feels so good. And there are specific yoga poses that you can do for each of your chakra centers as well. Child's pose is super beneficial for the root chakra because it goes right into the spine, and then it rests your whole body, and it really directs the energy to the spine. But then you have like bridge pose, which is completely in your sacral, and oh my gosh, I wish I had time to go through each of them.
We will do an episode on this. We will just have like a whole chakra series.
Just a whole chakra series and a yoga
that
series.
Deep.
Yes, but you can look up different poses for what your body needs, or even if it's just something simple where it's like, I feel so much pain in this part of my body, you can find a pose that will feel good for your body and give you the rest that you need.
I love that. And I'll preach it until the day I die, but the meditation, it is key, even if it's only for a few minutes before bed. Meditation, it's so simple that it is neglected very, very consistently. It's like those Bible stories where, they're trying to cure the guy from leprosy, and they're like, all you got to do is dip in this pool and you're free of leprosy. And they're like, no.
Lightning.
That's too easy.
Fire.
Meditation, y'all. That's the simple, very true, powerful answer. Meditation is the act of putting our tools away. For example, if you only had, like, you were given a car, and you're told this is your one car your entire life, you are going to take care of that car so well. You are going to do all the oil changes. You are going to rotate the tires. You are going to put the best gas in it. You are going to make sure that it is off and not used. You're not going to redline it all the time. You're going to take care of it. Our minds, our thought is a very powerful tool, but it is a tool. And so many of us don't even think it's possible to stop thinking. There's people I've spoken to about meditation, and it's like, yeah, you're looking for that stillness where there is no thought, the space beyond the thought. And they're like, ha, no, really, like what? And that's the true depth of meditation, is you are, in essence, becoming the being. You are becoming the awareness. And so even if you only take a few minutes as you're falling asleep and just turn off the thought. Now, it's a skill. It does require practice, and many of us are literally addicted to thinking, where we can't stop. And there's times when it's easier for me than others. For example, I can fall asleep no problem in the middle of the day. It's easy for me to turn that off. But yeah, keep at it. That meditation is the practice of learning how to do that.
I love that. Another one, like I mentioned earlier, super popular right now, aromatherapy. People have been using essential oils and incense and all sorts of different scent to incorporate different feelings and emotions. Obviously, you can use that to help you sleep better. Lavender is always going to be that classic calming essence to bring you that peace. Same with chamomile. We've got sandalwood or frankincense. Those are really calming for the third eye chakra. Whereas like rose oils can be used for your heart. Same with amber. You can get any of these different kind of scents. You can spray them on a pillow. You can use oils. This is so girly basic. But even Bath and Body Works has their aromatherapy line that they have out. I have their eucalyptus and mint one that is so amazing that I use at nighttime. Because, you know, I've got my chakra issues too.
Yeah, we all do.
We all do.
It's a process.
Another tool you can use is a visualization. The old mantra of counting sheep.
Yeah.
Till you sleep. You can envision a spinning wheel of light for each of your chakras. Can help restore balance there. Because I think, like you said, with meditation being so simple, not saying that it is not difficult to unlock all of these chakras.
I mean, it is, but it is work. Meditation is work.
It is.
But with the visualization, the meditation is really the act of seeing the disturbance so that you can move beyond it.
Yeah.
That's the work of meditation, is weathering the storm of thought, emotion, impulse, and moving beyond it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think even just taking a moment to visualize each of the chakras will give you a sense of perhaps where you need more balance, or just kind of a beautiful practice to see where you're at.
Sure. Even just visualizing love. Just sending love to each of the energy centers. Like, I know that I have blocks in some of mine, but I can still send love and caring and attention to those centers, even though they're blocked. Just be like, I know, I'm working on it. I see you. I hear you. I'm not ignoring you. I love you. Yeah.
Why is that so tender, though?
It's all love.
It is.
Why do you think Jesus is always pointing at his heart, like the burning heart?
Jesus is love.
It's all love.
Love is love is love is love is love.
Anyhow, other things that you can work on is breathing exercises. The breath is a profoundly powerful tool. And again, speaking of simplistic things that are often overlooked, we breathe all day, every moment of our existence.
Yeah.
But breath is powerful. You can use your breath to help move energy throughout your body. You can visualize breathing in light, breathing in love, and then exhaling shadow, exhaling any disease, exhaling anything that is not welcome within yourself, any emotion that you are trying to release. So yeah, especially incorporating visualization into the breath work, it's very powerful. There is different pranayama breath works that we could get into maybe on another episode, but the breath is very, very powerful. So yeah, different breath work. Another thing is sound healing.
Yeah.
Quantum physics teaches us that there's no such thing as solid matter. So in a nutshell, what that means is everything is moving, right? If you look at anything under a powerful enough microscope, it is not a solid item. So everything is just different energies vibrating at different frequencies. And so using the frequencies of the chakras literally will help align them. Sound is very powerful.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, being aware of what is in your environment, what you're hearing as you fall asleep, can really help those.
Agreed. One of my favorite things we've talked about a lot on this podcast is color theory.
Yeah.
I love color theory and association with crystals because I'm a millennial witch, of course, crystals. So placing crystals on different chakra points in your body and is another way, like you were saying earlier, of sending love and attention to those centers.
Sure.
And I almost see it as like taking that negative energy and taking it out of your body and putting it into another physical form, like into another space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and these crystals are also vibrating energy with their own frequency. That's what makes them all different and unique. And so, yeah, I know it gets dismissed as woo-woo, and you're like, how can a rock make me feel better? But it's like, okay.
It can, though. It can, though. The other thing that's so interesting with color theory specifically is each of our chakras have a different color.
The rainbow, in fact.
Interesting. Same thing with all crystals. They usually align with said color. But there's also something to be said about the color theory in your space and what you're wearing, and making sure that your space is a place where you can have peace and where you can find that serenity that you need to rest.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is like steering away from like reds and oranges and dark like purples. Those are things.
Even chaotic colors.
Chaotic colors or patterns.
Yeah.
Things like that. You want more of your softer tones, your greens, your blues, creams and whites. Those are things that are going to automatically put your mind at rest, which is science.
Another thing that we didn't even have in the list, but if you remember from our episode of Why We Clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, clutter and mess can affect your sleeping quality and your ability to sleep very profoundly.
Yeah.
Because even though in your conscious life you've programmed yourself to ignore that pile of laundry in the corner, your subconscious is not going to get that same message.
Exactly. It's not. And there is energy within your space, even if it's just... I don't know. I noticed this when I was walking into my kids' room tonight, where there's just things all over the floor right now. And I can't even focus on the question my kid's asking me because I am just trying not to step on a Lego. Like, it's just, you can't focus on rest when your brain is literally bogged down with all the other piles of things in your room.
Yeah. So really the key to all this, and what we're going to get to with our challenge for you, is to implement one of these practices.
Exactly.
Into your nightly routine. Now, like meditation, like all healing work and spiritual work, the key and the magic is in the consistency. And so what you want to do is start basic. Start very small, like drinking a glass of water in the morning, keeping that promise to yourself. Start very simple. Even if you're like, you know what, my room gets kind of messy throughout the day, I'm going to take 5 minutes before I jump into bed and just tidy up. Start there. Start there. And then after you've built that habit for a week or two, be like, you know what? I am going to meditate while I clean, because truly your whole life can be a meditation. You don't have to be sitting cross-legged on a pillow to be meditating. So be like, you know what? As I pick up these items, I'm going to not think. I'm going to try and put my thinking tool aside for the time. And, you know, just start there. Just start building up piece by piece. And it's the consistency that you'll find the magic in.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, and to build off of that, with consistency and routine that gets built up, I think there's less stress when you already know how you're going to face the problem. I feel like that's half of what anxiety is you find the solution, you don't have to be worrying about it anymore. So you understand having a dirty room at night is going to make you anxious, or you already know that you facing a certain chakra block that you're dealing with. If you have a plan set in motion,
or you constantly overthink at night.
Yes. You have the plan set in motion with that routine and that consistency. It's going to alleviate a lot of that stress, and automatically, with that stress being out of your system, you're going to get more rest.
Yeah. Thinking on that, one tool that I've found helpful is, for whatever reason, right, as I'm laying down to go to bed, I'll be like, oh, I got to do this tomorrow. Oh, I got to do this tomorrow. Yeah. And my to-do list starts stacking up. If you write it down, I mean, you might be comfortable, but if you literally just write it down real quick, then your brain can release it, and your brain won't be like, don't forget, call mom tomorrow. Don't forget, call mom tomorrow. Don't forget. You wrote it down, and then your brain can release it, and you can move past it.
Do you need to call your mom?
I mean, that was my example, but yeah, you always need to call your mom. Oh, man. So
let's sum up.
Cool.
We were talking about how sleep is essential for both your physical and your spiritual well-being. Take a nap. There's so many benefits. There's so much good that comes for us when we are well rested and well intended.
Yeah, completely. So, and then, take that challenge. Move forward with it. That is our challenge for you. Start small, build the routine.
Exactly. Build a bedtime balanced routine.
And keep the promise to yourself. And then look at that. You're stacking. Now you're keeping 2 promises a day. You're basically Superman. Or Wonder Woman.
Or both.
Just Spider-Man.
Just Spider-Man.
No, thank you so much for joining us today. We've enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too complex for you.
You're overthinking it. You are wonderful.
That's the only feedback we get. It's great.
It is.
But Aaron is confusing. No, we appreciate you. As always, we say...
Oh, stay curious.
That was an epic fail. No, stay curious, everybody. Ask questions, be inspired, and realize you don't know as much as you think you do. Us included.
Us included.
Learn something new every day. Have you seen The Dark Crystal?
Seen The Dark Crystal.